Welcome back to the TM1 Cubewise user conference here in Sydney. I'm here together with Dirk Reitinger from the DB Netz AG. He just finished a very inspired presentation about the usage of Apliqo UX as a dashboard solution in the DB Netz AG. And I'm happy to have a chat with you and talk a little bit about your experience and your background.
Yes, it's nice being here in Australia.
So let's start. Maybe before we deep dive into the product and your experience, maybe give us a bit background information about your business life and what you have done in the past.
Well, I've been around as a BI consultant for 15 years before I joined DB Net. It was mainly for Infor, but it was always an all-up engine there. And during the last 5 years, I was at the very department I'm working for at the moment, where I signed, and I did a lot of planning there already using TM1. And now, I'm like 3 or 4 years. I'm with DB Net now.
Mm-hmm. So, what's your main position at DB Net now?
Well, I'm in the team for developing software for planning and forecasting related to the financial controlling at DB Net.
Okay, interesting. So, as a lot of people know, the Deutsche Bahn Group is one of the biggest TM1 users in the world, with around about 7,500 users. The DB Netz AG, which is a subsidiary of the Deutsche Bahn, is a big part of this, around about 1,500 users. So tell us a little bit about the challenges you had with TM1 and the dashboard and front-end solution you were using in the past.
Well, since we're related as a development team in the financial controlling, it's all about actually planning and getting the data and then get the analysis on it. So dashboarding was never a thing that we were really like into it. So we mainly focused on get the right values in our cubes. But we got more and more pressure from other departments that like took the data into like small databases and got like some really nice and fancy dashboard solutions on that. Mm-hmm. And everybody asked us, why don't you do that? Well, we have a huge TM1 instance. It holds like have a terabyte in RAM. We have dimensions with 4 million elements with it. We cannot just put something easily on it to work out. Mm-hmm. So this got more and more difficult to us.
Okay. So if I got it right, there was a long evaluation process of different kind of tools and softwares. So give us a bit background about this process and what you have checked out and what were the key criteria in this process.
Well, we've been looking for almost 2 years because we just didn't want to make small analyzing cubes. I just told you we are very much into planning and forecasting, so we always wanted for our users the best user experience to just have the values in their dashboard right away without waiting for processes to run to shift the data somewhere. Even though we also would have, if we would have created those cubes, it would have been a great effort, like on the business side as well, to validate the values all the time. So that was one of the things that were the most difficult thing to solve, right? Mm-hmm. To get directly on our cubes. Mm-hmm. And so many vendors that came and showed us their incredible software, but mainly they just pushed the data into a separate layer. Mm-hmm. And then put their software on top of it. So the software actually knows like how the database is like structured. So since that was not an opportunity for us, it was really hard to find a software which goes directly to TM1, since this was one of our mandatory requirements on that side. Yeah, we had a hard time finding a proper software there.
Okay, okay. So we're happy that you found it with the Apliqo UX. So maybe give us some bullet points about what was the main criteria in the end and the main driver that DB Netz decided to use the Apliqo UX for dashboarding.
I mean, I think you can summarize it in like, first of all, Apliqo UX is a software which goes directly to TM1, which is a good thing. And the other thing is that you didn't stop when you were facing the issues that we had, because you were struggling with our complex data and the size of our cubes as well. But we had that proof of concept, and after day 3 we were like, everybody shook his head and was like, oh no, this is not going to work as well. But then we were talking to Scott in Swiss, and he came up with an idea which he like coded down in 16 hours the whole night, and the next morning we had a concept now called as universal views, where you can, like, on a metadata basis, you can define views that gets the data out of different cubes and then get it into one cube that's basically just a cube you can browse like any other cube. So that was a great success to be able to go to our native cubes, even though the structure was actually not reportable, because it's not the way it should be for an easy reporting tool, right? And another example is that we wanted to be able to create charts that were in place in the application at that time, because like 2 years ago the UX was on a really early stage. And yeah, I talked to Andreas in Australia, and a day later I had a prototype using HighCharts library, which is now a fixed component in the software. So like working it out together like really solved the issue for us. And we knew that even though the software might not be that feature rich, even though now 2 years later it has like tons of features, right? But if there's a feature missing or just not there, it's for us as a development team, it's like pretty easy to get it done, because we can alter the source code and to get the features in there that we actually need. And yeah, we just made kind of partnering together. So you included like code that we did to bring features to the software. We now included them in the newest version, and it's like really easy for us to update to the newest version now. Okay, great. And maybe in other big corporate companies, corporate formatting is a hot topic. So what kind of freedom gives you the Apliqo UX to fulfill corporate formatting requirements in such a big organization? Pretty much everything. So to me, it's a good software to do that enterprise applications, which are something you have a really like user-driven navigation. You have the complete corporate design in it, and it looks and feels like Deutsche Bahn, like actually does. It's really easy to change the look and feel of the software to make it look just like a native a DB app, right? So this, and that it's consistent throughout the whole application. So if I change it in just one part in a configuration cube or in the code, it's like immediately throughout the whole application, like no matter how many views I have, they will all look the same afterwards as well. Great, great. So lucky for, I would say, both parties is that it was not just a POC, so you have implemented it now. So maybe share a little bit the projects or dashboards for whom you are currently using the Apliqo UX. Yes, this is where pressure comes back in. So we're having our first product performance revenue meeting online now since 2 years, and it's for us it works out really great. And since a year we have many departments asking for, oh, we want a dashboard like that maybe. but the bottleneck is at the moment still us, because we need to get the IT infrastructure right for that. But once we have it, we already we're planning to do some dashboarding on the workforce side, and we do want to do some reporting from the colleagues for the investment side. So there's pretty much actually that we really want to do, and yeah, but manpower is the key.
Okay, great. So it means the journey doesn't end. So there are more projects in the pipeline for which you are planning to use the Apliqo UX.
Yes, definitely.
Okay, great. So it was a great talk.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it. Enjoy the last days here in Sydney, and then looking forward to the partnership in the future.
Yeah, me too.
Thanks
for having me.